here in this little space of peace, why you were interested in coming here today, and set that intention to find what you came for. And I think we're more ready now. Let's move on to this next slide, if you don't mind. I'll go over this quote from John Dewey, American philosopher. He says, "We lie," and he quotes Emerson with this, "in the lap of immense intelligence, but that intelligence is dormant, and its communications are broken, inarticulate, and faint, and until it possesses the local community as its medium." So, immense intelligence, a broken and an inarticulate, faint communication, and then a local community as the medium. I love this quote because I feel, and hopefully that you'll learn about the Project Catalyst, I feel that medium of local community to sort of exercise, to heal, or to mend my broken, inarticulate, and faint communication. And I think that what lies on the other side of that is an immense intelligence. So that being said, get ready to meet some immense intelligence. What is with all these other speakers. Let's go to the next slide. Yoram, I'm going to put you on the spot to read our invocation of Project Catalyst. Would you mind?
I will get you on that one. Welcome to the experiment. Things may break, lack documentation, differ greatly between iterations, disorient, overload, and inspire. Our goal, provide a safe and lively environment for you to explore the highest potential of human collaboration. And I will add to that, our also goal is Cardano4Climate is to additional to that, and that's a phrase that we normally read in the town hall every week, the official town hall. So our goal is to add to the mission of Cardano is make the world better for all, people, animals, and living planet. Thank you very much.
So let's go to this next slide. I do want to give some introduction to Cardano for Catalyst. It began as a challenge, which is our funding categories, which we sort of as a community agree on. And it was not voted in, but it got a lot of support, and it attracted a group of people. And those several of those people are here today. Melanie, Yoram, Esioman, and who else? Is there any other sort of founding folks around from
Simon?
Simon, Yoram, Melanie.
We're all so new that we are all founding members of Cardano4Climate. We're all the
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Baba just joining into the community is a part of Cardano4Climate. We're those seeds in this ground and growing into this beautiful, beautiful community. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. We love, if you notice the background behind Yoram, he has the snail, and we really like the snail as our logo because of this Fibonacci sequence, this thing, that small things can make giant things happen. And the other thing, and let's move to the next slide, that the climate change is a failure of cooperation, meaning that immense intelligence is just waiting for cooperation to happen. We feel like the world is there for us, and it's just out of reach. It's just waiting for, like, maybe I'm waiting for the project. But we're going to hear about some projects and people who are taking the initiative to build on those projects. And it's just been an amazing, it's been an amazing time for that. Actually, one of the things that Melanie, who onboarded me, or seed to seed style, and something that you hear a lot of around here is that we are, you and me, if you're listening to my voice here live or in the recording in the future, we are the people we've been waiting for. And let's go on to the next slide. So there's collaboration that can happen. It's an amazing spot, and I'm hoping very much that you will decide to get further into our community, that you'll hang out with us, and that you're welcome here. That's been the goal of this short 6 minutes of talk. And let's go on the next slide, and we can begin with our other agenda items. Excellent, excellent. I'm really looking forward. I'm looking forward to your talk. I met you yesterday, and the carbon footprint, and I'm looking forward to seeing that that actual green footprint. That really made the impression on me yesterday.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't put that into this presentation. Sorry about that.
That's a teaser. That's a teaser for anybody listening. It's just like there's more really good stuff. So take it away, Christian. Thank you so much.
The other thing I have to be sorry about is, like, I copied in my presentation, but somehow I changed headlines and colors. So it wasn't intentionally being white on white background.
Oh.
I just edited too late and had too little time to edit it.
No worries, no worries.
So I'll just talk you through it, and then you can ask questions. So thank you for inviting me to this event, and Joram specifically, as well as the founders of Cardano4Climate, have been helping us as climate neutral Cardano for a long time, and we have been working together on all of these projects. So I think we do put some branding on it, but in general, it's a collaborative project, and that's also why I'm here, to actually put this out to you. You're some of the first people that see this, and hopefully there's going to be some more engagement and collaboration in the project going forward. So Climate Neutral Cardano is basically a stake pool operator group that work together to have a climate impact. And that's why I'm here. I guess I'm representing a little bit the stake pool operators in this presentation here. I think there are many stake pool operators everywhere, but this is specifically a stake pool operator group. Next slide, please. Right. Yeah, it's nicely green now. Okay, so our stake pool community is on a mission here. We want to solve, like Cardano4Climate, global warming, and we would like to use or utilize where we are, i.e. being Cardano or being part of Cardano, to help solve this problem. And more importantly, as a proof of stake blockchain, we are hoping to be part of the solution rather than being part of the problem, like maybe some other blockchain that I'm not going to mention here. So one of the main goals for our community is that we want to make Cardano a climate neutral or even climate positive blockchain. And as a growing stake pool operator community, we are running all our pools on renewable energy, and all our active pools are also donating our income to environmental projects to enable the mission. We are supported by many non-SBO partners such as Cardano4Climate, NFT artists, bloggers, and institutions, including Cardano Foundation and so forth, who have helped us a lot. But that's, I think, just the benefit of being in the Cardano community. So if you want to, I'm not going to talk about all our stake pools. If you want to find out, just check out our website. It will be at the end on the last slide. Next slide, please. So in terms of what we have done so far, as the stake pool operators, and we have started approximately maybe a year ago, perhaps slightly earlier, slightly less, depends on what you consider the launch of Cardano4Climate. There is basically a website, which is climateneutralcardano.org, and you can find out more about us there. What we have done initially is we have started to focus on carbon emissions, and we have done an initial carbon estimate, if you like, for the Cardano blockchain, probably very much in the beginning, about a year ago. And that was then also used and fed into the Cardano Forest project, which we then got involved with. We have learned while we did that we need to go much more into detail about what the Cardano carbon footprint is, and we received Catalyst funding in Fund 7 to develop that more comprehensively. And basically the aim here will be to standardize a blockchain carbon accounting for the Cardano blockchain and hopefully for other blockchains too. However, I'm not going to talk about this here in this presentation because I talked about it yesterday. What we have also done is then each of our pools are usually supporting individual environmental charities, and you can look that up on each pool. My pool, Shift Pool, for example, supports a Scottish charity which is called Trees for Life and plants trees there. And that's where our donations usually went until now, when we started this new collaborative project, which I'm going to talk about a bit more, which is called Cinciala. And yeah, so that is basically the new kind of impact, and what we have spent basically a half a year at least before we started this project. About in January, we worked with the Cardano Foundation and Veritree to launch the Cardano Forest. Maybe not everyone knows this, but we were a direct partner, and you can find normally our logo there as well. But there were some issues with actually having some benefit or getting some benefits or enough benefits out for stake pools and being visible, which is part of what we learned and what we fed into the new project I'm going to talk about now. Next slide, please.
I think the slide, just to break for just a second. Let's go up to, I think you're on slide 14, Cole, if you're pump through a couple slides here.
14.
There we go. And then maybe one more.
No, sorry. Well, now you're confusing me on your jumping steps. Just go back. Sorry. So I think one of the main points here I wanted to make for the stake pools is that stake pools have a vision. They are part of the community. They also create an income, and that enables them and to fund real-world impact projects. Stake pools are also a base layer of Cardano. Most of you know that here. They have to make and verify blocks to earn ADA. If they do make blocks, in order to make blocks, they need to, in order to make blocks and earn income, they need ADA to staked to their pools. And depending on the stake pool vision, part of that income can fund impact projects. What we think as stake pool operators is needed for impact is we need that vision and a project that makes a difference. We need stake pools that commit part of the income to the project. We need the ability to communicate, to reach out and engage with delegators. And then we need the delegators that support these stake pools. And I've made this in bold here. The ability to communicate and reach out, engage to delegators is one of the key issues here that maybe a lot of impact projects are struggling with. And that's why we're coming together to kind of push this forward. Next slide, please. So challenge and solution, sorry about being a bit small and green. So the challenge here to single pool is that single pools with and without impact mission often struggle to reach sufficient delegation and stake. Low delegation means low donations, low impact, burnout, stake pools retire, and no impact after all. For single pools, that's specifically a problem because they don't have all the project skills normally in one or two people. They don't have enough reach. They may not have enough time, not enough funding, etc. For delegators, that also means that they might not see those stake pools, those single stake pools. They might not trust them because they can't see them. There's no visibility. There's a lower return on ADA for those pools. And seemingly there are big alternatives in other projects out there which are easily to catch on to. So we think there's a solution there, which is basically a stake pool operator project alliance, which is what climate neutral Cardano is, where the decentralized community of pools comes together and work together to launch one project rather than each and everyone, putting their own spin on everything and then having to buy in everything else. So we work together here to build trust, to combine skills and enable the scale that we need to reach delegators. Next slide, please. Right, so now we come into the project. So our project, our new project after the Cardano Forest was launched and ready and funded, is that we want to now plant 100,000 trees in Madagascar. This project is called CNC ALA, which stands for Climate Neutral Cardano ALA, and ALA is the Malagasy word for forest. So it's basically Climate Neutral Cardano Forest. And we are aiming here to create a permaculture project in Madagascar, where drought and deforestation have created desperate conditions for people and the planet. And at the same time, it will solve climate change issues if we are fighting that drought and deforestation there. Next slide, please. As I just mentioned, sorry, one of the biggest problems, or two of the biggest problems over there in Madagascar are that there is deforestation and there is hunger because of the conditions right now. The last 2 or 3 years, they had severe droughts over there, and people are literally starving. And at the same time, because when you're starving, what you're going to do there is often cut down even more forest in order to sell the wood on the markets, etc., in order to get a little bit of income and feed yourself for the short term. There is very little long-term planning, and that's what you need when you think about climate change and long-term solutions. Next slide, please. We got in touch with our stake pool community or we found this fantastic NGO, and the NGO itself is called Titikasala, which stands for Project Forest in Malagasy. It's a very small NGO, and here are the 3 founders and activists that are running this, and we got in touch with initially, and then there is a number of local farmers that they work together with to make this happen. Thanks to those people, basically, we are able to connect on an IT basis and deliver all of the connections to the Cardano blockchain, which will be a bit harder to someone living in the forest or on a farmer basically on the ground who may not have ever heard of blockchain before. The key activities of this charity is really rural development by accompanying local communities towards economic and food autonomy, which is basically what this permaculture project is about. At the same time, reforestation and development of nurseries, forest gardens, and food forests. They also provide advice, support, and monitoring of agriculture and environmental projects for surrounding people. They do provide agroecology training with content on permaculture specifically. And they furthermore raise awareness about sustainable development and fight against climate change. Next slide, please.
Okay, Simon, we'll get, if you can, because of I just want to be mindful of the time. If you could take just a few more minutes. Yep, there you go.
Okay, I was told 15 minutes. Am I already past that? Probably am. Okay. Project building blocks, just a few listed, just to showcase that how difficult it is to do this alone as a single pool. There's NGO audits that we have done, Cardano onboarding, basically got them a Cardano wallet. We did donations accounting. We need to discuss project reporting, creating utility token, which we've done, tokenomics, carbon offsetting, communication. It's never ending. Project planning, execution, etc. And marketing is now our final stage we're getting into. Next slide. There's a lot of positive impacts from this. Maybe I'll jump over this. Reverse land degradation and so forth. Social impacts here, where people are learning about permaculture and have long-term benefits from it. Next slide. And of course, there are blockchain impacts. Very important to remember if you're a stake pool operator, if you're within Cardano. It shows the power of blockchains to do good. It helps SPO to showcase their work and gain delegators and so forth. We build a case for collaboration with NGOs here from all over the world, which will be a big thing. We introduce Cardano to Madagascar and Africa by that, and we identify very important actually challenges that really again trigger innovation in the Cardano innovation process. And also, of course, it provides meaning to our work here. Next slide. So project summary, these are the final slides now. Sorry, I dragged it out that much. So after 5 months of preparation, we're getting ready to launch the project. We have actually started to support the charity already, and internal pools have driven this until here. The goal here is to raise $300,000 and to plant 100,000 plants, both through donations and through delegations to pools. Reports are provided by Tete Casala directly, so we'll get monthly progress reports and materials that we can all use to showcase what the impact is of our work. We have currently 14 participating pools already, which all are donating 20% or more of their income. We have already tokens minted that will be given to people that are providing to this project. And we have practiced and developed token utility, which is very important to get any outreach these days. We have multiple NFT artists that are partnering here with us, including people here in the community, in the C4C community and the Catalyst community. And we are launching this in the next few weeks in the first stage, and there will be an initial runtime of 6 months. Next slide, please. What we really wanted to get is additional stake pool operators involved initially before we're launching this on a wider scale. And so if people want to get in touch with us specifically, you can find us on our website, information in general. And then if you're interested in participating as a stake pool and get some help through that, you can join our Telegram group here and say hello, and then we will vet you and introduce you to the process and the further development. That's really the last slide, I think.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christian. And will you be able to stick around Thank you, Christian. And will you be able to stick around in the breakout room? Would be able to sort of field some questions?
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. That's wonderful. I am excited about Madagascar and your project. So I might poke into your into the breakout room and see what kind of discussions we can have. Yeah, I think maybe it's ready. We're ready to go on down into the Catalyst School.
Yeah, I think we're ready. Come on in. So yeah,
I love the Catalyst School. The Catalyst School was one of the very first places that I went into Project Catalyst, because they have these great introduction things. So if you're out there in the chat and you're like, well, maybe I'm not going to start an SBO, and you want to start something somewhere a little bit smaller, then you could jump in to the Catalyst School for one of their instructional sessions.
Thanks, Newman. Yeah, I didn't know you were.
Yeah, I took a class with Philip and Victor. I went through the whole thing, like how to be a CA, how to do the I didn't know, and this was this was just relatively recent, so it's very fresh on my mind, like how much of a help Catalyst School was. Yeah,
they're great teachers, I have to say. Yeah, so I'm Simon. I'm from the Catalyst School. I'm not sure if I'm a founding member, but I don't think that matters very much, as I said earlier. But I help with organizing, and I'm also teaching some classes there. And yeah, let's go to the next slide, please. So what is Catalyst Schools? Catalyst School is really a community of teachers and Catalyst community members. When we first started with Catalyst, there wasn't really much information out there. So I think, yeah, more than a year ago by now, we started creating some resources and also holding some workshops. And now we have actually multiple different schools all over the world, which we do in the name of decentralization. We have created the Latin Catalyst School, the African Catalyst School, and the Eastern Catalyst School. I want to say co-created, because a lot of the work that has gone into that are from the people from Latin America and Africa and the eastern part of our world. So it's really a collaborative effort, and yeah, if you ever decide to help with Catalyst School, that would also be great, and you don't have to do it with us. And or if I think one of the great benefits is if ever our Catalyst School doesn't exist anymore for any reason, we still have other people that have the knowledge and the resources. Also, we've been funded, thankfully, from Catalyst. We have 4 main workshops right now, which is Introduction to Catalyst, how to propose in Catalyst, how to be a CA, and how to be a VCA. CA and VCA is community advisor and veteran community advisors. These are roles in Catalyst that assess the proposals, and they also get compensated for that. So yeah, we try to help people do that better. And I mean, of course, a proposal is very objective. Like, you should, of course, put in your own view, but maybe we can help a little bit with how could you best go about assessing these in a neutral manner, or also in a good way. Yeah, next slide, please. So I thought maybe instead of just talking here, maybe I could include you a little bit. And go back, Newman, please. Or yeah, thanks. And everyone can give me a little feedback on what they think Catalyst is, just to give you like a quick glimpse of our sessions, because this slide is actually one of our introductory courses. Anyone want to go and try?
Yeah, you can say it in the voice, or type it in the chat.
I'll give it a shot. So I think it's a democratic way to distribute funds to budding new projects that may be helpful to the community.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I'm not so sure with the democratic part, because we have weighted voting. So this means either it's not one person, one vote, but the ADA that you control in your wallet gives you the vote, the weight of the vote. So
semi-democratic.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but that also is the reason for that also is because it's technically not really doable in a decentralized way yet. But maybe when we have identity online, we can develop something like that as well. Also, it's a lot of work, right? So, yeah. Anyone else? We have decentralized innovation funds. I like that, absolutely. Oh, sorry, that's too long. Yeah. So
it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different folks. To me, it was totally chaotic, and I bounced right out of it the first time I did it. I came back a couple months later. I came back after another fund had passed, and I was, it can be a little bit daunting, and that's why the Catalyst School is great, because it can quickly, like Dor says, get you to a meaningful relationship with just one other person. And for me, it was Sosha in the Swarm and Philip in the Project Catalyst, and then Melanie, of course, here in C4C.
Cool. Yeah, can you click for the next, not the next slide, but animation? So yeah, we have here a few definitions that we've come up with, or that we kind of thought were good. And one of them is Catalyst is a safe environment to explore the highest potential of human collaboration. If you heard any of those, that's the most probable one, I think. Next, we have the community. Catalyst is an ecosystem based on community roles and activities. Funding, Catalyst distributes funds through funding rounds based on a 4-month cycle. And Cardano Catalyst is an experiment to refine blockchain-based economy, governance, community, and social impact. And yeah, and I think why there is no real definition, no total definition yet, is because it's an experiment, and we will all see what comes of it. It has many different aspects. It's complicated. So yeah, I think we will see. But yeah, let's go to the next slide.
And Simon, you're just about 6 minutes, so we're trying to keep the train rolling.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yep.
Can you click once more? So, how can you get involved with Catalyst? You can join one of our workshops. We hold one actually tomorrow at 11. I think it's 11. I'm gonna post in the chat once I've done the speech here, and then yeah, then you can become a CA and a VCA. You can, oh yeah, sorry, one thing I wanted to say about the workshop, I think it's a good way to also get to know other people. That's why I put it here and get involved with Catalyst as well, because how do you get involved with something? You kind of find people with similar interest, and you know, everything you do, if you do it alone, it's kind of boring, right? So yeah, then you can also create your own proposals. Maybe you have a project already that is impact or sustainability related. I think that would be very possible here. Then you can create your own proposal, and if you can somehow benefit Cardano with your proposal, there's nothing in the way of you getting funded from that. You can also join the town hall or other groups like these here. There are many other groups like this one. There's the Swarm, which is a lot about governance on Catalyst, if you're interested in that, or like Catalyst School and C4C are two of them. But also all the groups that you hear like David's, the Blockchain Learning Center, which has a similar goal as ours, and we're very much, you know, in touch with each other, and I would say friends actually. And when you go, if you want to be involved with the Catalyst School, please write us, become a contributor, a teacher, and we've gone through the proposal process, so we know how it works, and we've also had, I think, very good success with our proposals, and thanks to that we can get our contributors paid and ourselves paid. Yeah, thanks to a lot of you guys here actually. So next slide, please. These are the useful links. If you go into the slides, you can see all of them. I think we're very engaged on Discord and Telegram, but there's also some additional links like the Catalyst community landing page, Cardano Catalyst. This is a very important tool for, I think, me personally, I think this is a very important tool for community advisors and so on. I think there might be some others out there, but this is one of the ones I use. Lido Nation, you can find the proposals there. And yes, at the end, I added a little video from Fund 6, or I think it was end of Fund 6 when we got funded. So you can see a little bit of our history. Yes, I think with that, we can go to the next slide. And I thank you all for being here. And let's hear the other proposals and the other groups that we have here. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cole Bartlett from the Sustainable ADA team. And today I'll be sharing our project Sustainable ADA. So Sustainable ADA, connecting the dots between blockchain, sustainable development, and Cardano.
Sustainable ADA connects you to the real-life examples of how Cardano is enabling cascading disruption by change agents, creating a better tomorrow today. Stories of empowering people taking action in life-changing ways, actions that ripple in globe-shifting ways for a more sustainable, peaceful, and prosperous world for all. Connecting the dots between blockchain, Cardano, and Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and actions on the ground by showcasing case studies of positive progress and potentially valuable opportunities to be unlocked. Sustainable ADA is a space where you can learn more about the transformative potential and impact of Cardano and collaborate with others to receive guidance, access to tools, and community support while integrating solutions to challenges faced by you, your business, or your community. Clarifying and demystifying notions of blockchain and how it relates to sustainability and Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Providing resources for educators and activists to confidently introduce blockchain technology into people's lives, highlighting the sustainable advantages and positive impacts on communities and businesses. Bridging people into a world where they are welcomed on their lifelong learning journey and invited into the Cardano community. Ultimately enabling and empowering visitors to discover, acquire, and nurture an appreciation of what blockchain is, its limitations, and its possibilities. Sustainable ADA, the stepping stones to a sustainable and equitable world for all.
So at Sustainable ADA, we say we're building the stepping stones to a sustainable and equitable world for all. Our services, we have a newsroom, a place to learn about new developments around Cardano and how it connects to sustainability and the SDGs. Education, this is our #1 aim through both our storytelling, learn modules, and additional resources. And research, we conduct research to back up our reasoning and data, and this helps further conceptualize these connections. So the news, we share Cardano's connection to sustainability through real-life use cases where you can discover, acquire, and nurture an appreciation for what blockchain is, its limitations, and its possibilities. We have highlighted over 20 projects that connect to sustainability and the SDGs, with the goal of highlighting a project's impact to inspire others and get more eyes on the impact projects. Looking at education, at Sustainable ADA, we bring you through a learning journey found at the Learn tab on our site. We also share suggested free courses based on blockchain and sustainability. This is a space where you can take a deep dive into blockchain and learn how Cardano connects to sustainability. We offer courses, why blockchain, what is sustainability, blockchain and sustainability, and Cardano and sustainability. Looking at our research, when it comes to the 2030 agenda, we're all developing countries, stated by the UN. We have done research on the Project Catalyst funded proposals, connecting them to the UN SDGs. With the support of the Cardano community, our successfully funded Project Catalyst proposals have enabled us to conduct collaborative research into how and which projects proposals connect to the impact of the SDGs and how much money is financing such projects. We found in Fund 6 that 96% of all proposals are related to the SDGs, both indirectly and directly. In Fund 7, we found that 91.7% of all proposals, 266 proposals, are connected to the SDGs. And this was conducted by Cardano4Climate, Sustainable ADA, and Cardano AIM. Some key stats that we see in terms of US dollars and what was allocated from the community votes. In Fund 6, there was around $3 million connecting to the SDGs. In Fund 7, there was around $5 million connecting to the SDGs. In Fund 8, for the total challenge setting, we see around $12,800,000 connecting to the SDGs. Our team are currently carrying out research into Fund 8 funded proposals and their connections to the SDGs. This is the SDG search tool. If you want to see the proposals from the Fund 6 and 7 that connect to the SDGs, you can find them here easily. How to get involved. Join our community, follow us on social media, join our community chats to learn more about the positive impact of Cardano and the different teams we're part of. Learn about blockchain and sustainability, take a look at our project stories and educational content to find your connection to blockchain through a Sustainable ADA lens, and become a contributor. Join Sustainable ADA as a contributor or translator and help us highlight the amazing projects in the Cardano ecosystem. At Sustainable ADA, we say education is the most powerful weapon of them all, and we truly believe that. And that's why we're helping empower people through education. Thanks so much. That is Sustainable ADA. You can follow us on our social pages and check us out at www.sustainableada.com. Thanks so much, and that's Sustainable ADA. And up next, we'll have the WAYA Collective presenting their project as well.
All right, WAYA Collective. Thank you, Cole. That was wonderful. Absolutely, absolutely brilliant. I've read a couple of the blog posts. I did not know about the sort of educational units. I'll have to go back and check that out. So thank you.
All right.
Okay, take it away. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much as well. My name is Antonia Lorenz. I am a co-founder and CEO at WAYA Collective. And our purpose is to build local industry, built on Cardano, of course. And I'm happy to share a bit more what we do. And next slide, please. So for me, I started my journey about 3 years ago, coming to Africa and noticing an issue, an issue that is connected to how industries are actually built in the entire world. Because our industries right now are highly centralized, resulting in a waste of resources and bad working conditions. We all know that the way we live and the industries we have built, they're in production centers, in some, depending on the industry, low loan countries, low loan countries, and that actually results in very long and complex supply chains, and an abuse of low working standards. And the reason why these structures have been built that way is that there were power centers that were centralized. But we have seen that actually the decentralized power is, once we have the opportunity to harness it, which we now have with blockchain, is actually more efficient and definitely more sustainable. And in Africa specifically, we realized that because of that, because of the global structures that we've been building, there's almost no manufacturing, there's almost no industry. So many African countries, or most African countries, are heavily reliant on high imports, which results in a lack of local jobs, of local wealth creation, and in the end is a side product of these centralized industrial centers. And also another thing, the products are really not made for Africans. So what we have is really an opportunity to build industry there, and to build industry that is actually localized. Next slide, please. So we believe that Africa can be a pioneer in decentralizing industry. Local industry is, as we believe, fundamentally the only way how to actually build sustainable industry. We have short supply chains. It can also be more efficient because we have a faster reaction to the market. And especially there's no disconnection between how the things are produced and the consumer, because it definitely would be different if, all of the clothing, for example, that we wear would be produced right next to us. That would change the situation, because we don't want to have the pollution in our own country and right next to us. And we also believe that local industry is the only way we can really make circular economy possible, because we can really learn how things are used, and they can be reused. So we believe local industry is the only way to build sustainable industry. And we believe that in Africa, because we have this opportunity of an industry that is not so developed. So in African countries are really the least industrially developed countries. And on the other hand, we also have a really growing market, first of all, of the human resources, and second of all, of people that actually want to have products. And that really, yeah, it levers the way for us to build this new industry. Next slide, please. So how do we do that? Our goal is to build local industry. And what we do is we enable local industrial ecosystems to be built in Africa, leveraging blockchain technology. And what we have realized is the lack of industry in Africa, it always comes down to one main issue, and that is actually financing. So it is really, really hard for local entrepreneurs in Africa to get money, even if they already have a business, a factory that is working and that is producing. Even then, even if they have a track record, because the financial systems are just so broken and not made for these entrepreneurs, it's really, really hard for them to get money and actually expand their business. And that in the end results in all of these products just being imported into African countries. And so the first thing that we want to tackle is really the funding part. And we all know that blockchain and crypto is a beautiful way to do that. Yeah, how we do it is WAYA Collective is a lending protocol. A lending protocol where industrial entities, factories, but also potentially stores and brands can be financed through the lending protocol. And it's quite interesting because investors can get a return, and they can also actually vote on the project, really taking part in a community-based decision-making to fund industry. And the money really goes into into building existing factories or growing existing factories, and really enabling these local industrial ecosystems that are necessary to supply the local market with local products to be built. And of course, the money is coming back to the protocol, enabling more and more people to be funded, and also the investors, of course, to get a return. Next slide. Exactly. So people can really, take part in investments in the African continent and in real businesses with real impact. What's really important for us as WAYA Collective is we see a huge challenge there, and we also see a huge opportunity in African countries to grow industry and to grow an industry that is better than in the rest of the world, because we can almost start new there. And I think what for us is something that a building block that we're built on is that we know that you also have to scale to do that. So for us, it's really, really important that we build something that scales and that is interesting to investors to actually invest in, and to profit of that, to really build industry and really make an industrial revolution in Africa, but one that can also spread to the rest of the world. Next slide, please. A little bit about who we are, where we are right now. So we have really tested out a lot of different things in the past 1.5 years. We worked, we really had different ideas of how do we work with local businesses, and what is the best way to wire resources to them. And what we have done is we started out in the fashion industry. We produced, for example, what you can see here with a local partner, a fashion line that is sold in Uganda. And on the other hand, we also launched our ISPO that everyone is welcome, of course, to participate in. And yeah, that's basically where we are now. Slide. All right, this is the team. I think we're really, yeah, we're really a great team, I think, to do that. We're quite diverse. We all have a lot of experience in Africa. So myself, I have lived about the last 3 years, mainly in Uganda, and I learned so much. I started so many projects that also failed, that didn't take off, and all of these experiences really led me to start WAYA Collective and to grow it, and to also convince these two other guys to really join me on the mission. And Matthias, mainly, he really brings in the really structured, also the knowledge in how to actually build industry. He has led an industrial park in Ethiopia. He's half Ethiopian for Decathlon, and led about 6,000 garment workers, and really understood through that experience how to work with local businesses, and with especially industry that is, competitive with the rest of the world in Africa. And of course, we have Simon, who is our DAO architect. So he is really the main. We are all crypto enthusiasts, but Simon is the main crypto enthusiast. And he really has also actually a lot of experience on the African continent. So he has lived in Zambia and in Nigeria before and started projects there. But he also led a crypto startup back in Berlin. And together I think we really complement each other. And I'm really happy to have them. Next slide. Yeah, now we can just say build local industry with us. The with us is very important. We are a community, and we really mean that. So we are already building our DAO. People who are on our Discord can actually already come and contribute and can later on earn token in reward. And we're really trying to build a community right now already that builds this, so that we can build it together. And you all are invited to do that with us.
Hooray! Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Antonia. That sounds wonderful. I love the industrial, and then also that you started with sort of something that's very, very with textiles and fashion. I think that's actually a really cool, very necessary thing. I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you very much, and good day to all of you, and to some of you, good evening. My name is Nick Smith. I'm the lead for a project we're now calling Clean, and I was asked here today to talk a little bit about our project, how we got it funded, and what comes next. But let me first just start by saying how much I appreciate the great work that you're doing here at Cardano4Climate, where your goal is to make solutions to climate change an inherent part of the activities of Cardano. You're building a great community. It's very active, and that's absolutely wonderful. So great job. Okay, let's get to it. Clean, a decentralized water quality platform. And why is that important? Because people don't realize that their water is contaminated until it's too late. Next slide, please. Centralized authorities, government agencies, municipalities, and water treatment facilities can't be relied upon to provide timely and accurate water quality data. Time and time again, the people who are in charge of keeping our water safe have let us down and tried to hide the truth. Even in the United States, the Environmental Protection Agency, charged with overseeing the Safe Drinking Water Act, is overburdened, understaffed, and broke, according to Aaron Brockovich. It's well documented that there is water contamination. Could you go back, please, a couple slides? It's well documented that there is water contamination in over 10,000 communities in the United States, yet the people affected are mostly unaware until they start to get sick. In 2015, we learned that over 100,000 people, many of them children, were exposed to lead in the water in Flint, Michigan, and thousands of Marines, including myself, their families, and civilians were exposed to poison in the water at Camp Lejeune and are suffering from the consequences of that every day in the form of cancer and other diseases. Next slide, please. If this is the case in the United States, then how much worse is it in the developing world? People cannot rely on centralized authorities and bureaucracies to protect their water. And wealth is meaningless without the health to enjoy it. People unknowingly bathe in, cook with, and consume contaminated water in both developing world countries and wealthy nations. We must protect our human and social capital as we work to build our economic wealth. Next slide, please. We submitted a proposal to the Nation Building Dapps Challenge where over $800,000 was made available for Dapp solutions deployed in the developing world. The challenge asked for proposals to cover foundational registry solutions, and these are all services that are typically provided by centralized local, state, and federal government agencies. They include things like national ID and civil registries, property registration, medical and vaccination systems, revenue services, business incorporations, vehicle registration, and licensing and certification. We received over 20 assessments to our proposal, some of which were actually quite brutal. And we missed the opportunity to throw out the low assessments, so we were very pleased and grateful to learn that we were funded. Next slide, please. We requested $115,000 for our first round of funding, which will power the first 90 days of operations and beyond. We plan to use the funds for water testing kits and equipment, laboratory fees and expenses, software engineering, platform infrastructure and hosting, water contaminant database development, training materials, marketing and communication, and community building and recruitment. Next slide, please. The team is composed of myself, Nick Smith. I'm the founder of a company called MedWave Software Solutions that makes a healthcare technology platform called HarmonyMD. Also on the team is Christian Capend, who is a technology advisor to the government of Lualaba in the Congo. Mark Lancaster joins us as an expert community organizer and who has a vast faith-based global network. And Keith, a developer from the Cardano Sharp project, which is an open source .NET Cardano library that we're using to build the back-end NFT minting web services. Jim Smith, who's the founder of the consultancy YChange International. And we're looking to add additional team members to assist with software development, including Atala Prism integration and Plutus smart contracts. Next slide, please. Clean's goal is to augment the testing being done at municipal water treatment facilities by sampling and testing the water where it is consumed. Our solution will empower people to test the water in their homes, schools, restaurants, businesses, and communities. This way, readings can be made of water quality in the locations where it matters most and after the water has traveled for miles in what may be the most contaminating of all places, the pipes that it flows through. Next slide, please. Clean aims to deliver a decentralized platform for water quality testing and reporting. The idea is to build a community of water quality monitors and to provide them with inexpensive testing kits that they can use in the field. We're also looking to create partnerships with certified labs so that we can corroborate our field testing with more extensive analysis completed with higher end tech and equipment. Initially, we want to test for lead, pesticides, and bacteria. And later, we want to test for other contaminants, including microplastics. We're working to create water contaminant educational content, which we'll translate to many different languages as part of our education efforts. We're also working to take existing EPA water quality data and, where possible, data from other countries and make it more accessible. Next slide, please. After the initial software development is completed, and as we grow our community of water quality monitors, these people will collect water samples and test them for contaminants. The test results will be stored on the blockchain in the form of metadata and in some cases NFTs. We will build credibility of the results through data corroboration, and we're exploring how we can reward participation with ADA and a Cardano native token. Next slide, please. The biggest challenge that we face is figuring out how to get enough people to participate on an ongoing basis. We're still working through the blockchain mechanics and tokenomics, but the current vision is to build an app where users can propose water testing sites and submit test results. So for example, if you're the parent of an elementary school student, you might propose that the water fountain in the school playground be tested for lead through our app and then get a friend to sponsor or second that proposal. This in turn would mint an NFT on the blockchain, and then other users would then sample and test that location's water and submit the results to the blockchain via an app. Part of that process would include taking a photo of the test results and uploading that through the app, which in turn would save it to IPFS and create an NFT on the blockchain. We've already developed the technology to create NFTs on Cardano through a web service in batches to optimize transaction fees, and we plan to call this from our backend servers after the client app writes the test proposals and result data to a sidechain. Next slide, please. We're thinking about the long-term management and government of the project in terms of a DAO. We're hoping to be able to fund the ongoing operations from the margin of our stake pool, and we're looking at how we could leverage that with an initial stake pool offering. We're also exploring how a DAO could regulate things like the stake pool margin percentage, native token reward criteria, and water contaminant tracking criteria. Next slide, please. We're exploring the tokenomics of a Cardano native token and using it to reward water sampling and testing activities and for purchasing power for training, test kits, and water filtration products. Next slide, please. We're very excited about the opportunity that Catalyst presents to obtain funding for our project, and we've also launched a stake pool with the aim for using the proceeds from the staking rewards to underwrite Clean's mission going forward. We encourage everyone who watches this to consider delegating to the Clean stake pool. We could really use your help to get going. You can find us in Daedalus or Yoroi using the ticker symbol CLEAN. Next slide, please. For more information, please visit our website at clean.watercontamination.org. And if you can follow us on Twitter at Clean Stake Pool, we'll DM you an invitation to the Discord server, or you can use the provided link. Thank you very much.
Yes. Oh man, water. Lovely, Nick. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's wonderful.
I'm not going to be using slides. I wanted to say, I feel so honored to be here. This is an amazing group of people, and I can see this incredible commonality between all these groups, this heartstring connecting everyone. And the similarity of missions is just like we're all pretty much in the same place. It's really great. So I'm going to tell you guys about what we're doing and the proposal that we got funded. And I'm going to start at the beginning and then kind of just to lay the groundwork and then tell you guys about the Blockchain Learning Center and the Beanchain. So I care very deeply about issues surrounding poverty and workers' rights. I think that elevating workers is the way to move all of us forward. If we can get more power and money in the hands of the people that need it most, I think that's going to allow people to start focusing on some bigger issues. So the way that we decided we wanted to try to pursue that was to create something called the Cooperate Network. And this is going to be a network that organizations can join that are supporting their workers, DAOs, worker-directed companies, co-ops, and gain access to shared services. In effect, giving them the same power as like a large company like Amazon, but for mom and pop shops, small businesses. We want to take some of that overhead off of them and help them operate more efficiently. We'd like to just have the requirements be, pay your workers living wage and do some profit sharing and give them a seat at the table. And then we're going to use any proceeds from that to help people convert to better forms, better organizational models, and develop best practices and help people create more worker-directed companies, co-ops, and DAOs. So in order to do that, we need to start somewhere. So we're starting with the Beanchain coffee shop. This is going to be a worker-directed company. It'll be a location-based co-op where the workers will really run and own the coffee shop in large part. And on top of that, it's going to be a place where we get to host a physical blockchain learning center, a space where people can learn about blockchain in a very casual way, go around, view demos, displays, interact with blockchain, and get themselves oriented, kind of aimed mostly at those on the bottom that haven't experienced this technology before and and need to get themselves into it and become more knowledgeable. We want to show them the potential of this technology and how it can help people organize and work better together. To that effect, we have done a lot of research, and that's where we're starting, is with research. One of our heroes is the Arizona Science Center. They do a very similar thing. They have displays and demos set up for basic scientific concepts and history. They're kind of like a modern science museum. We're deciding to try to emulate that model in our physical space. So this is kind of a rough floor plan of what it's going to look like, and we'll have these physical spaces. We want this to be something that we can deploy anywhere: schools, community centers, libraries. So we went and we talked to the Arizona Science Center, and we got ourselves a booth there. They were really stoked about what we were doing, so we've been kind of developing a relationship with them and going out and talking to hundreds and hundreds of people about blockchain and what it can do. We have, I'll show you some of our booth photos. We set up this booth and we did a little demo for kids, showing them an analog version of the blockchain, helping them figure out how it works. And we're developing all these resources that we can teach people with, showing them, you know, like what is Bitcoin, how to keep your wallet safe, and how to use a wallet, and what is a DAO. We're trying to develop these basic resources, make sure that we translate them all into Spanish as well, and any other languages that we need to. Hopefully we can get a huge library of those going, and then take those to these spaces and figure out where we can meet people, figure out like what they know, what they want to know, and how to best design these resources to educate people about blockchain and get them into this space. Our proposal was funded. It's the Blockchain Learning Center plus coffee. So we got a little bit of money to start doing that with. And that's pretty much, now you're caught up. That's about where we are now. So we're in this space where we're waiting for our physical space to be built out. And we're going to open up the coffee shop and teach people there, as well as online. We're trying to provide platforms on our website for other communities to come in and build courses about what they're doing, and really highlight what all these other wonderful communities are doing, and show people the potential. We have a growing team, and it's just been really wonderful to be able to work with all of you guys and be a part of this community as we work towards building a better world using these tools.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Yep. That's fantastic. Oh, the Science Center model I love, because those had such a huge impact for me. And I'm thinking about kids today, like my little nephew, that just can rip it on his iPad and what the world will look like for him. And if he could go to a blockchain or kind of understand these concepts through that type of interactive Science Center, would be phenomenal. You know, just the concept of that is bound to happen. And it could be, you know, hopefully it happens soon. One of the things that we do, here we are in our in this event, this series of sustainability events, we do a call to action, and we've had several. This one is from Nori, and there's a video where he explains it. So I think it's in the next slide.
Hey everybody. Sorry I couldn't be there with you today for the event. I really want to be there, but life happens and I have other meetings I need to get to. But I wanted to just do a little bit of a recording here to welcome you to the Sustainability Challenge. Every event, we've been giving small challenges out to the community. So in ways that you can help the planet in small ways, starting today, we can always do little actions ourselves and make a big impact if we do it all together. So today, I'm going to introduce you to our new challenge. Although previously at Cardano4Climate events, we talked about going vegan and eating less meat and how that's good for the planet. Today, we're going to ramp that up a little bit. And I want to talk about fasting. So fasting is a great way to help the planet because naturally you eat less food. And of course, you eat less meat because you're not eating anything. And fasting has some really great health benefits. So I'm currently on, by the time you see this, I'll be on day 3 of a 5-day fast. I'm doing water only with some tea. but no food, no calories. You can do it in a number of different ways. You can start with a 1 meal a day plan where you only eat 1 meal a day. So you're fasting for 24 hours. You can wrap that up and don't eat at all for one entire day. There are other times where you can just do it from sunup to sundown where you're not eating. I know a lot of religions do it that way. Do it your own way, figure out what works for you. But I just want to talk about some of the benefits of fasting. One, it boosts cognitive performance. It protects from obesity and associated chronic diseases. It reduces inflammation, improves overall fitness. Supports weight loss and decreases the risk of metabolic diseases. So there's a lot of good benefits in there. If you look up words like autophagy and other things, that you can go down a really deep rabbit hole on how fasting can help you live longer and do all sorts of stuff. But check it out, try it out, and let us know how it goes if you decide to join us. Join me in fasting. I'm going to finish up Saturday morning, so I'd love to hear how it goes for the rest of you. If you decide to do it for half a day, a full day, 2 days, whatever you do, I'd love to hear, and good luck. And let's do what we can to help save the planet together. Thanks.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear from Nori. And I have tried with fasting and the keto diet, which means that you don't have carbohydrates and your body kind of gets into this different sort of zone. I'd be interested to know if anybody's doing the 1 meal a day or the, what they call intermittent fasting. And I do think it's a great way to sort of get in touch with the world and kind of get out of the habitual pattern of eating, which we're in these habitual patterns. We're in the habitual patterns of the way we learn and how we interact with industrialization and the power. We're just habitually like go to the tap and get some water. And there really can be a shift in consciousness and a new paradigm. And it's been really fantastic to hear from all of those presentations. I'm curious now as to how we want to start our discussion.